for you to talk about the Forex markets and potential Forex trades with using binary options from the Nadex. And real quick, we're just going to jump onto our disclaimer to let you know that this webinar is just for illustrative purposes only. So we're going to go and review some of the Forex markets and see if we have any potential trades to look at. All right, so here we go. So right now, we are at the Forex Trading Unlocked website, and we have a couple currencies here. And real quick, we're going to pull up our Twitch page just because there might be some questions for this webinar. So while that is pulling up, so right now we have a Nadex demo trading platform set up for you. Can't show you my account, but I can show you the demo, especially because this is all about just showing how to execute and find different levels and what have you. So this is now all coming together. The stream, it's running a little slow. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have the platform pulled up, and now we're going to pull up our Twitch channel. Just so that we have that going. We need to have that going as well. So yeah, Twitch TV, Forex Trading Unlocked, you just search that and then it will pull up our channel where you can always see the live stream. We're just going to it to give you a chance, any of your viewers that are out there right now that knew that we were putting this out, that you can put in a chat. So let me make sure that this is loaded in, and then I will put this out here for you so you can see this anytime when you jump on during the course of this webinar. So, and we're going to be about 15-20 minutes tops for this webinar, just to let you know. So we're not going to be too long, but we're going to do a quick overview of some of the markets and then get that going. All right, so our stream is starting to come in. Here we go. All right, let's type our message. All right, any questions? Okay, that's good. Okay, as soon as we get that to slow down, okay, we have our stream. And below the stream, you can always see other things that are going on with Forex Trading Unlocked. And we have a couple of links for you. And let's see, this should be loaded up now. All right, so now we're going to go to our page here and start looking at our first market. So let's look at the euro. So we are going to look at a couple of your major Forex currency crosses and see if we can't find any type of binary trades that may be unfolding right now. So since this is an illustrative webinar to show you about different type of trade execution for trading different levels, we're just going to see where the wind blows us with this. So let's first see the euro US dollar has been rallying for the past month and a half. It's in a bullish posture. So overall, the trend obviously is higher. Since October 1st, the market's been rallying. A week and a half, it started to get kind of toppy, and you can see that the last 2 days it had a sell-off. Now, this was probably because the dollar index made a bounce and had a big rally over the past couple days. So mid-session analysis, we don't need that news there. Let's close out this volume and let's see what we can do to get some levels here. So let's move this over, make it a little easier to see. And we are going to look at the dollar index real quick. So why are we looking at the dollar index? The reason we're looking at the dollar index is just so you can see how the trend has been overall for the major currencies in the Forex environment. So here we go. This market is loading up, and what happened to it? Oh, we got to hit return. That helps. That always helps. Okay, so here you go. You can see that the market on Monday had set, or last week on Friday, had set a newer move low, barely, but it did. And then Monday and Tuesday, it rallied very, very strong. Now this right now, is it a bounce? I wouldn't want to try and call a bottom or top in any market. I think right now, if anything, you have a corrective rally. The market's been trading lower for a month and a half, and you can see that it is right here where this market ran into resistance, and you can see where that's support. So we're kind of, I think, at a pivotal area for the dollar index. Now, on the daily basis, it looks more like it's just getting ready to bounce and turn. But if you look at the monthly, it doesn't look so good. On the monthly, we have a major head and shoulders forming, and I think what we have more than anything is a corrective rally. Now, could it be just like this one here, and it's going to come up and make new highs? Absolutely. But I don't think so. I think with the way this market sold off over the past month, it's an indication that we have a head and shoulders formation. This is the second shoulder, and October ended giving us a bearish engulfing line, which is a high probable Japanese candlestick sell pattern, and I think that is what you have to use as your bearing. So if that's the case, and we're going to see potentially a bullish wave to major currencies, let's see what we can do with the Euro US dollar. So if the corrective rally in the dollar is something that's just a little profit taking today, then I think that, and see, here's the funny thing is we had the monthly, look at this, here's a bullish engulfing line to the upside for the euro. So this means we might be looking for a nice buying opportunity. So with that being said, we went through 2 months on 2 different charts, and so we have a dollar index which looks lower, which is positive for the euro US dollar, and we have the euro itself, which has also a buy signal for the monthly basis of October. So short term, a little under pressure, and I think that this would be, as you can see here, this was our beginning of our low. Look at this momentum. This came up really high. So I think right now this is your first wave up. One, we failed to take this high out, so now we're correcting back, which is pretty normal for any type of environment. If it's a bull market, doesn't mean it's not going to have a correction, right? So we have our pivot line up here, which this is our upside breakout line. For sure, any trading above here, it's going to be hard pressed to be a bear, I would say. Okay, so and below that right now, we're looking at being kind of bearish in the short run. But we're hanging right on this pivot right here at $110.74. So above here, it's really hard to be a seller as well. So it's kind of neutral to higher right there. So I think you key off the dollar index, and if the dollar index was just taking a little bit of a breather and a little profit-taking move, then I would say that you're probably going to see somewhere in this range a nice buying opportunity. So if that's the case, that we're in a buying opportunity in this range here, let's make this a little clearer so it's easier to see. I want you to be able to understand what I'm looking at here. Okay, and let's make it a little bit shadier. See how easy we make this, do this analysis very quickly on the www.forex-trading-unlocked.com website. Okay, so here we go. We're looking at this little buy zone here, and let's see what we have here. Okay, so this little area here is our target zone for support. And like I said, this pivot at 110.74, I think you're going to be very hard pressed to find any true market action going on, you know. So we're got a little bit of a pause, and then I think if we get to especially get a close above this 110.74, we're most likely going to start to range trade to higher, and we may even be just in a range trade situation because the euro US dollar may not, even though the dollar starts to fall apart, it doesn't mean that the euro is strong. So remember that the Brexit things, we're not even going to get into that with how things have failed on that department, right? So we know that everything's pushed out with that, and we've been talking about it for years, so we're not even going to dwell on it in this video. So we're looking at how the dollar index may affect it. So if a dollar bounce comes in, I think for your range traders especially, because look at this is not a big volatile area we're talking here. We're looking at 110.74 to 111.79. So just basically over $1, 1 basis point. That's not a lot of pips you're looking at. You're looking at just over 100 pips. So that's not a very big range. So for your range traders, let's see if we can find a Nadex binary level that would work here. So we're trading at 110.74. So we're going to go back to our Nadex thing. We're going to go to our Nadex Forex binaries, and we're going to pull up the Euro US dollar to see what's going on in that market. Okay, so now we're pulling up the Euro US dollar, and we will see what sort of strike prices that we can work with here. Okay, so we want to do with the daily. We're going to look at the weekly. Let's give ourselves, today's Wednesday, so we want to see over the course of the next day if we can catch a little bit of an action on this little trade here, which might be surfacing. So this is the pivot, 174. Let's find 110. Okay, so we have 110. 74, and we have, okay, so here we have 110.75. Okay, so this would be our potential strike that we're looking for. So let's just say that we are an aggressive bull and you buy into this scenario. So let's put a line here in the sand. So we're going to put a horizontal line at 110.75. We're going to correct this number and make sure that it works. I think we are trying to. Okay, coordinates 110.75. Okay, so that's right on the strike. And then we're going to put this as a, put this like this. Okay, so here's our strike price, this purple line here. Actually, that's kind of hard to see with being purple. Let's make it this deep blue, and then let's get dotted. Okay, so here is our binary strike price. Okay, right here at 110.75. All right, so we have our price here. This is our strike price. So if you are bullish right now, let's see, are you bullish, are you bearish? So the market made this high, which we have this upper pivot at 111.79. That's our upside breakout level. In fact, this high came just only a few, let's see, this is 111.75.8, and this is 111.79. So this was 11.79.5. So just within one pip, this fell short of making a higher move high. But the reality is it didn't make a higher move high. So what do we do with that? That means that we've made this high, made this higher move low, lower move high, and now we've made a lower move low. So right now we're off of the bull train. So even though this market's in a bull market, you can see it's digesting as far as this what it's done over the past 2 weeks. And right now it's giving us an indication that it wants to go lower more than higher just because of the fundamentals of lower move low, lower move high, lower move low. That means is indicative of a lower trending market. So if you want to fade this market, then that's what we're going to do. So we're looking kind of bullish on this. So we're going to look to buy this trade. So let's look at this. We look at the market here. We got to load up a new one since it expired there. Okay, so 110.75, here comes an order ticket. So if we're looking to see over the next few days that the dollar index is going to retreat and start to go back towards its lows, and that this euro US dollar is going to see a little strength because it's got a good buying opportunity, then here's what we're going to do. We're going to put an order in here, and you can see that your maximum loss would be $49, your maximum profit would be $51. So we're going to place this order to see if it gets hit at the market. Sometimes the market's moving around. You have to reset or wait for your order to get hit if you have a selective pricing. As far as with our order, we'll see what happens. The market's pretty quiet. Okay, so that one didn't work. So let's try it again. We'll do a 110.75, and we're going to do it a little bit different this time because we want to execute it. This is a good little thing to see how this works. It's just a little slow because of the stream. This is a demo account too. Off of the laptop, not on the desktop. Okay, here we go. So we got the size. Here's one. And then we have the price. Okay. I'm going to do a market order. We're just going to do this. Let's go to market and buy one. Okay. Order received, buy one contract. So here we go. So now as you can see, here is our trade window. So you can see that there's 2 days left for this November option. This says when we executed the time. And then this also has the current value of the position. So we shall see what happens over the next 2 days for this strike price for this trade. This is our euro US dollar example for how to find a trade level and what to do with it right now. If we are bearish, which means then we would be selling this level and not buying it. So right now you can see that we bought this contract. It says plus 2 in the position. So that's because the other one got executed as well. So now we have 2 contracts in, and they right now are at a strike price of 110.75. So see how it says Euro US dollar greater than 110.75. That means the strike price is 110.75, and if the market settles above 110.75, then this trade will be a winner, which means that you will see that the profit, you saw the profit was $51 was in this one trade to be made for that contract. So, Euro US dollar, we saw how we took a situation here. We looked at the dollar index, which is bearish, and we also looked at the monthly charts on the dollar index and the Euro US dollar to give us a bearing where the Euro US dollar seems to be in a bullish mode. So any correction right now would be a correction to look for. If you're a bull, you'd look to buy into breaks. If you're a bear right now, I'd be very careful of selling this level right now because you may be selling it in the hole. Now, we don't want to try and pick a top or a bottom. This market may start to head all the way down to new lows, and the high from a week and a half ago may be the last high for a while. So we don't know what's going to happen, but right now it looks like the market's trying to get into a digestive phase to maybe put a pause on its rally, but it also doesn't look like it wants to be a real bear because of the dollar index trade. So I would say that if you watch the dollar index and see any type of erosion there, that will go with this trade. Now, if you see a rally in the dollar index, well, then the bears in this situation would be the right ones, and you'll probably see the US dollar settle below the strike price that we have set up for you here, which is 110.75. So we'll monitor this trade, and we'll check out another video after a little bit of time has gone on to see what kind of signal we have. So we'll see what kind of how the day's trading ends this afternoon, and see if we maybe get a little buy signal or a continuation. Maybe this trade erodes and it'll be they're under pressure. So this is one way of looking how to trade a binary option. If you were a bull, so remember the strike price was 110.75, and we purchased on the demo platform 2 options, meaning that we are bullish that the market will settle above that strike price before at expiration on Friday. Now, the nice thing about this, folks, is let's say the market goes lower. If we were in the outright futures or the outright Forex, we would be taking heat. So we would be out, we would have a negative balance going on in our trading account, and we would be at risk. And if we had a stop in, we may get stopped out before the market turns and ends up being positive on the close of Friday. A lot can happen between Wednesday morning and Friday afternoon yet in the Forex environment, let alone in the Euro US dollar or even in the dollar index. So that's being said, because of the binary option, you reduce your risk and your staying power is strengthened as well. Obviously, your upside potential is capped, but it also, like I said, you can ride the storm over the next 2 days. And right now, since we're resting on this pivot, it's much more safe, much more peace of mind with something like this, because like I said, your risk is defined, your profit potential is defined, and you don't have to worry about the algos spiking around. So we could see a break that brings this market all the way back down to the lower end of this buying area before it comes up and breaks out to the top side and then gives us a nice little rally. So we have to see how the market ends today, and then we'll follow up on this trade to see if we have any more to do with it and see whether we're in a good trade, and maybe we may even put another strike price on. In fact, why don't we do that? So let's say that we're right with this trade. We're bullish and we really, really like this. The next strike price is a 111.25. Do we want to take a look at 111.25? Well, let's see. Let's put this in here, 111.25. So before we end this webinar, let's see if we put one more trade on. So here's this. Let's balance this out so we know where our strike price is. Okay, so we have 2 days to climb and get above 111.25. What is the pricing on the 111.25 option? So for 111.25, if the market settles above that strike price, then on Friday, then you will be positive and you will be on the right side and you'll have a winning trade. If it does not settle above 111.25, then you will be on the wrong side of that trade. So let's see, we put 1 in the market, and let's see, we want to see where is the depth? Okay, so let's see, the market's at 2025. We're just going to do a market order. All right, so here, so you have a maximum loss of $30 on this position, and we have a maximum profit of 80.25. Or excuse me, that's not right. maximum profit of 80.25, maximum loss of 19.75, depending on where this gets filled. So we're going to place this order and see if we get executed, which we should because it's a market order. So it's pending, so we'll wait for this to see. Now remember, this option, just like the other two options, expires on Friday afternoon when the markets close. So let's see what we got here for our position. There we go. All right, so this is the +1. See, we have one position on at the strike of 111.25. You can see that the cost was 20.25, so you risk 20.25 to make 80. Now this is great. You have a 4-to-1 profit ratio, so the most you can lose is 20.25, but you can make almost 4 times as much after commissions and the trade becomes good. That's if the market settles above 111.25. So for all of you that have been paying attention for this webinar now, we have a second pivot trade that we put in. We have at both the 111.25 and also at the 110.75 strike prices. These are these two blue lines. These are two Nadex binary options. On this, the binary options, there's multiple types of different types of vehicle instruments that they have that you can use for trading the markets, but we're using the binary options as an example here. And we have these two strike prices, 111.25 and 110.75, where we're taking a bullish stance on where the market's going, where we're getting long 2 contracts in the demo account right here on this pivot at this strike price here at 110.75, and then we also, as you can see in the open positions for 111.25 for the Euro US dollar to be settling above that by Friday evening or Friday afternoon, then this is the pricing that we're in, one position. You can see that we're long, and right now it's pretty much a scratch for the 2 positions that are on. So we have 2 options that we bought that are right in the money at the pretty much where the market's at, and then we have out of the money above the market where we risk a little bit less to actually have a potentially of a higher reward, but of course we have to get above there. The market, we have to be right about the market rallying, and it has to get above that level as well. Now the nice thing that happens is if we get above or close to the second one, we will have a winner on this other one, not quite as much because it's in the money, so the value is not there. The risk, you don't risk as much, so the reward is not as much, but still, because if we're at the money, any rally and any ability to stay above 110.75 will put these 2 in the money, and you don't have to worry. You'll get your money back and make a little profit on those. So we just have to see if we can get the momentum up to 111.25. And the good thing is that let's say that tomorrow or even Friday, the market's just dribbling above this 111.25, and you're worried. You're like, okay, well, you know what? I'm up on 2 of them, and they're almost there. There's only a little bit of profit left in them. And the other one, it's not quite there, but it's still a little more profit in it because it hasn't expired yet than it was when you got into the trade. Well, if that's the case, you can liquidate all 3 of them and still make a little profit. So you don't have to wait until Friday to get out of these options. It's not like once you're in for the long haul. You can get out later on as too. Right now, if we wanted to, we could liquidate these positions. As look at this, we're kind of right there to scratch. So we would make a couple pennies, So and then real account, with your commission, you're basically scratching if you wanted to right now at that, what we've done. This is just an example. This is not a real position. Remember, this is for illustrative purposes only, and if you were a bear, you would do the opposite. You would be selling these strike prices, and you could see that obviously this one would cost you more, and then this one would cost you less because you're at the money, and its market's above it right now. So this is what we're looking at for different trades. You have different options through using the binary options, whether you're a bull, a bear, or even if you're a range trader, you can use these levels as well. But right now, we're looking for a directional play. That was what this webinar was about, was to try and see if we could find a trade. And right now, we're taking the bullish stance on this market, and we'll see what happens. We'll have a follow-up video to see if we have any success with this trade. So thank you very much for your time here with Forex Trading Unlocked. And just in case, if you want to learn more about the high probable Japanese candlestick pattern that I showed you from the dollar index at the beginning of the webinar, as well as the bullish engulfing line, which is the opposite for the Euro monthly chart there that's signaled for October, that is giving us our bias to be bullish to Euro US dollar. That's why we're taking the bullish stance for this Nadex options binary option trade. So read the book High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns on Amazon, available in paperback and Kindle. and you can utilize the best buy and sell patterns used for over 400 years to give yourself a competitive edge against the markets. And remember, this webinar was for illustrative purposes only, and we hope that you were able to gain something from it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, and we'll follow up with another video.